So first and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to be sharing a demo with you guys of the Cal CPA version of our product. And the reason for that is that you guys have the same backend database and same architecture. And so everything you see here can be done in your architecture because we're already doing it in California. When you're looking at this, I don't want you to get too wrapped up in the color schemes or specifics of the layout. The UI is fitting their environment, but if your team wants something different, it's a very flexible platform, and we can offer you something that really aligns with your needs. So first, I want to offer an introduction of our organization and then also our product. So Black Ties is a company with a strong foundation and best of the best AI and ML. And we marry that with a really strong focus on design principles. And a lot of our work has been focused on state societies, and our goal is to really offer your e-commerce much better outcomes and profitability around your CPE. So some companies really emphasize design elements when it comes to an e-commerce platform. And they work to emphasize things that are appealing in the visual experience and are really focused on making beautiful websites. And some companies really emphasize search technologies, like Amazon. They're in a place where they have 1 billion items on their site, and it doesn't feel overwhelming to try and find what you need because their search is very well organized. Now, we think it's a lot like a car without wheels. I mean, you can be in the driver's seat, but without wheels on the car, you're not really going anywhere. So creating a layout and design elements that resonate is key to member engagement, and we're very focused on that. But state societies also have pretty complex content and diverse course offerings, which means we have to make sure that we're on top of that too. So we're very much focused on the balance between these two approaches and matching excellence in design with expertise in machine learning. So we met our first state society in 2015. And our first meeting was with their director of operations in California, Arthur. And Arthur and his team were worried about their business model at the time and really the different online platforms that they were using to serve membership. But based on the fact that they'd been let down by other vendors, it took them some time to really build trust and want to work with us. And our team worked really hard for months talking to CPAs from partners of firms all the way down to recent graduates. We came with a very customer-centered approach when it came to this platform that we've developed. And after an initial design prototype, we went further and went to a conference to have people test the platform, and we met with the Cal CPA Board of Directors and gathered their thoughts. So when you're looking at this user interface, you see up at the top this ability to select subject-specific tabs. And I see an interview that we had with a new hire who shared that he had specific subject weaknesses and gaps in his knowledge and was looking to fill those specifically one at a time. And maybe over here on the left, you're looking and you see this faceted search capability, so you can have these very clean, nested, faceted search elements. And what I see is the feedback that our team gathered from Jerry, an 84-year-old CPA who works as a sole proprietor. And he talked to us for 2 hours at a CPA wine conference and shared that he couldn't see anything when he was asked to look at everything, so we should keep it clean. I mean, to be honest, I'm living in New England in November right now. A CPA wine conference, I mean, come on. But anyway, so we walked through this whole entire site flow and had people offer adjustments to us. So for instance, when it came to catalog search, if you look at the Washington experience, it's a pretty clean, organized site. You can click into event details and they load. And eventually you get to see exactly what's going on with the event details. So it'll tell you what the mission is and what the objectives are and a wide variety of other things. And well, we'll just let that go on. In our site, we designed it so that when you go to click View Details, it pops up and it's readily available, and you can get the data that you need about pricing and where and course descriptions and other aspects. And at the same time, you can easily click back and go back to your search results and find yourself right where you left off. So that's one piece of the feedback that we got, was that people were interested in having an efficient process and being able to quickly re-engage. But most importantly, members liked and recognized the value of tracking buying patterns, so they could have that Amazon-like experience. So for instance, if you execute a search for the Accounting and Auditing Conference on our site, and you execute the same exact search on the Washington website, here in Washington, you get these results, which are the Accounting and Auditing Conference, and that's exactly what you search for. But additional to that, on our site, your first response is the Accounting and Auditing Conference, but you also get a series of other related pieces that very much resonate with what it is that other people may have searched for or selected and bought when they were interested in this Accounting and Auditing Conference. And based on the fact that we have this tracking and can view user activities and then have that inform our experience, whatever is going to be offered to the next member who makes a search is going to be really tailored to their course list and offering the best of their needs. So when it comes to the experience in California, this has had a pretty dramatic effect. For instance, before, about 12 out of every 100 people on site were actually moving through the entire experience and remaining to checkout. And in the current Black Ties platform, it's 40 out of 100. So that's a threefold increase, and that's had a really significant impact on revenues, and those revenues in CalCPA are now on the rise, and that's great. Another piece of this is that they've seen a dramatic increase in the length of e-commerce sessions. So previously, people were on site for about 2 minutes, and now they're spending as much as 7 minutes on site during a single session. And the implications of people increasing engagement is that it not only increases your website page rank and helps more people find their way to the State Society site, because search engines take into account something called the long click or the total time on page when looking at how to rank search results. Also, your membership is going to have more interactions, and that increased user behavior is going to give you more strategic insights. So for instance, when it comes to CalCPA, they didn't know what insights they might need, but they were in a place where they started looking at a new development project, and their team was considering really building out their instructor profiles on the website further. And this would have been some capital investment. But we had gathered data for 2 months from our platform being up and tracking, and with some investment in reporting, we were able to look at the different faceted search elements on the right of our CPE platform, so these different pieces that Jerry had commented on. And we found that users leveraged instructor the least of any of the search elements. So 1 to 3% of the time, people were using instructor as a way to kind of refine their search. So it may not be immediately obvious what piece of granular data is going to offer you insight or what kind of data tracking is going to make the difference. But when you need it, it'll be there, and you're going to be glad that it is. And not only that, but you're going to be glad that you have a partner who's there to help you make the best strategic decisions that you can. So Hayden, based on what we're talking about here, just thinking this over, what kinds of questions or what kinds of insights do you want from your members and courses?